So the question was by Junior over there was, how long have I had that piece of cardboard? Let's see, that's a custom chrome fork slider cover. You can see I used to use both sides. I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago I took off the buildup that was all bubbled up and I cut it all off. Went back down to that layer. Started over. It was about 1/4 inch thick from all the goop over the years.
I'll put that in the museum.
So yeah, it's gonna be it's permanently encapsulated.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the cams in here. Get this thing ready to go together the rest of the way. So we already got washers on everything. Everything should be fitted and ready to go together. Now if it's not ready to go together, we're gonna have a problem with it. We destroy a gasket. Okay, this looks like a number 3 because see there's no things right here. It probably says 3 on there too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, imagine that. Okay, so you want to make sure you lubricate your lifter lobe, make sure you lubricate your shaft, and make sure you lubricate your gear. You stick it in there. Squish it around a little bit. Make sure the marks are where they belong. Which one's that? That's the last one that goes in. That's number 2. This must be 4, see there's no gear on it. And it says 3 on it, doesn't it? Remember how we did this? Just like this. So what's this one got? An extra gear. Okay, the lobe goes up basically when it's closely timed. See, I'm within 2 teeth or 1 tooth. Boom. Those are lined up now. Okay, now we need number 1. Number 1 has 2 drive dogs for the oil pump. I made a mess. If you put a semi-lube where the gasket go, the sealer doesn't work as good. Remember that. Okay, that was the easy part. Okay, that's lined up, that's almost lined up. There, now it's lined up. Okay, now we got this one. This is going to be the hard one because the lobes hit on the gears. So they stick up hard in the gear. Makes them hard to engage down there. Good enough for you? 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark. Means it goes in like this. So as you get the lower ones going first. That one's engaged. That one looks close, and that one looks like it's off. Let's rotate it forward a little bit. Half a tooth off. The lobe was hanging up and I want to go back to half a tooth. Okay, so lines, 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 and line. Pretty good, huh? And it looks like this lines up too, which I never pay attention to, but like I care. See, I never pay attention at all. People ask me all the time to line up your time mark. I don't care about the time mark. See, time marks line up and now the gears are way out of the way. See, they're too far forward. You have to back it up out to here. Then it works better. That's why I don't come off the time mark over there if I don't care. Okay, here's that washer with that extra. Okay, now this goes on the shaft. I don't know if it goes this way or this way. Which way do you think it goes?
Whichever way it lines up with the gear.
This is probably wrong.
A little high.
This is probably right.
Yep.
Okay. Get oil on it already. Okay, we get some oil in the shaft here. So this one here, I'm going to put some oil in the bushing. Put your little dick skinner in there and lubricate it. Too big. Boom. You notice I put oil on that? You want to put oil on that gear?
Got oil in that gear.
Yeah, I do. This is kind of open, so you don't want dirt sticking in there.
Oh.
In case you're sloppy. It only drives the generator anyway, so we don't care about it. Okay, now see a little snap ring groove right there?
Oh, really?
That's what that's for, so the gear won't fall off. I don't like using these things.
I've never seen that before.
Yours has it. I've had problem with these. I've had it with the bushing right here. Pushes on the snap ring, locks up the gear. See how badly worn that snap ring is? You have to watch the gear. See how worn that is? So I think it's either been spinning there a lot, which is probably not, or it was hitting pretty heavy on it. And see how it wasn't consistent? It was hitting over here and over here. See, it wasn't hitting there, over here. So I've had more problems using these than not using them.
Is that so the generator gear doesn't pop out? If you
The
take
gear's
cover
not going to fall off if you put the cover on.
Yeah.
Now, if you ride your bike with the cover off,
Everything's
ring.
falling out.
Yeah.
put the snap ring on.
I don't have a snap.
Other than that, don't worry about that snap ring. It's going to hit against the bushing anyway. It's not an issue. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and goop up all this surface here in the gasket. And we got this little thing down here called a leaking spot that we need to deal with. We're going to deal with a little bit of 3-bone. Because that is not always covered by the gasket.
Oh.
You remember how the pin was about 10 thou smaller
Mm-hmm.
than the rest of it? So what I like to do is squish that in there with a little bit of pressure. Trying to jam it down inside of there. Like that. And make sure we got enough on there to actually fill it. Kind of like that. Let it kind of sit there. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and goop up the rest of the motor. Like you should. With a goop. And we still haven't lubricated those shafts on this side yet either, so we'll do that while the gasket sealer is setting up. Get your snot boogers all going so it doesn't make a big mess. Now if you get a little bit on the gear, I'm not going to lose my sleep over it, because this will dissipate on its own by being chewed up if it has to. Now you didn't put any paint on top of that stud, so if I put some sealer over it, it might not rust. When you get over here, we got a problem. See, we got goop and goop, 2 different goops. See, I can't get in there too easily. Shove it in. And you notice how you got 3 dowel pins on an early motor. K model you got 2. Early Sportster you got 2. Later Ironhead Sportster you have 1 dowel pin. They only use this one. They limited the other 2. So there's no alignment all your gears. It's a hit and miss deal on whether it works or not. Okay, this is that genuine Harley gasket. That's how many years old?
Long time.
What year's the motor?
41.
What year's the gasket?
Must be a 40.
Gasket's from mid 40s.
That was in there already?
It's a World War II gasket.
Oh, shit. Was it in the bike already?
No,
No.
I like original gaskets because they work. They're thinner, and they don't deteriorate over time because it's sellable already. This thing's already 75 years old or something, or more.
That's not a bad thing.
And it's still good. So that means probably another 75 years it'll still be good.
Probably won't have to rebuild the motor for at least that long.
Whereas the gasket that these James use, I don't think it'll be good that long.
It'll go bad just sitting in your desk.
They get hard and brittle sitting on the tables. They're good for about 10 years and they start getting bad. And by 20 years, they're brittle as hell. So these ones just keep on working. Okay, see how that covers up the hole there just a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have two different kinds of goops on it, though.
You see, this one here has a little area here and an area here. So this one here is this area. This one here is for that area. So that should keep it from leaking there. Yes, I said should.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it does. Okay. So go ahead and put some oil on these shafts. So we haven't had any oil on these yet. Meantime, that is still setting up over there. That way when I put the cover down there, it won't just all gush out. Now this you have a bushing and you have a gear to lubricate. Okay, we got another problem we almost missed. See, there's a lack of a hole right there. See that hole right there?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big leak. We need to find a set screw to go in that hole before we button this thing up. Should be one laying over there someplace. You know why it's laying over there? Yep.
It's convenient.
Because that's where I put everything that I want to find later. Is that solid in the hole through it?
Yeah, it's solid.
Perfect. That's what we want. See, shovel head ones are not solid, they have a hole in them.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah.
You should put that in there after you're done screwing the crank, but sometimes people get forgetful of what they're doing around here and get sidetracked and worry about important shit like hunter viruses and hepatitis triple X3 and whatever the latest one this week is.
So that keeps it in there?
Nice and tight. That plugs up that hole, so now only the side hole over here
Oh,
will let oil in it.
oh yeah, that just oils the gear.
Otherwise you'll have very, very low oil pressure in your motor.
Oh.
Minor inconvenience. Okay, so we got all that lube there. Now I wasn't able to get any lubricant on this back side of that. It's hard to get in there, so. See, it doesn't really sit in there.
So do you have to do gasket goop on this?
At some point I'll put some on there, yeah. When I get done playing with oil. You want to make sure this goes up and down. This is your breather. See how it's starting to get lube in there finally? So if that doesn't work spring-loaded like that, then your breather system won't work correctly. If it sticks down like that, then you have a gap like that between your breather and this, and it'll blow out oil out your tube down here.
Mm.
Your engine breather will not have an oil separating function, which could be a problem for some people. Your pressure valve is still in there too, functional. I'm not really sure what happens if you don't have that, but it has something to do with the breather not working correctly over here, I think. The chain holder part.
Hmm.
Well, I know the newer bikes you don't have it, so its function is limited. Which means I probably won't lose any sleep if it's not there, but if it's there, make sure it is in there and it might be functional because it is a valve. It's supposed to go up and down. Okay, so now we got some goop on there. Has that flashed off yet? One, 2, 3. Yep, it's flashed. Okay. Doesn't want to go on. Protesting. Just rotate the gear set a little bit. There it goes. Whatever cam shifted, it let it drop down. Okay, we don't hit it too hard right now because it's laying on the crankshaft on the other side right now. Alright, so pick the motor up a little bit off the crank. There you go. Felt the crank go up and down. That's a good sign. Okay, let's make sure it rotates halfway decent. Still does. Okay, now I go ahead and put the screws in there. Which is this set right here. Here's your generator screws here. This is oil pump over here. Alright, so that's it for that package. When you have a universal set, you'll have an extra screw because there's one less screw on the 45 compared to a big one. But this set was made for your bike, so it'll come out even. Okay, so I just start in the middle of the cover and work my way out. Get all the screws started, make sure the gasket's where it belongs. If you put those ugly black screws on, you have nice contrast between polished metal and
My old,
yeah, when everything's cab plated and B-blasted and it's painted silver, the whole motor just kind of looks like different shades of gray. It actually looks better if you have some other color in there. Black screws really highlight real nice. So I like black lifter blocks. They give a nice contrast to the rest of everything else. So I get a little squeege out of here probably. So that's coming out the sealer. That's good. Sometimes this area has been beat on and folded over, and it basically leaves that hole uncovered, and then it'll leak out of there. It's one of those leaks nobody knows about.
well, those Harley leaks.
Yep. Okay, so now we got all the screws in. Okay, tighten down. Okay. That's not good. What are we hitting on? That is not good. So what the hell is different? We've had this thing together a lot of times. What is different from before? The oil pump is the only thing that's been added. We already ran the oil pump through the whole cycle. Oh. We didn't have the oil pump in with the cam lobe in.
What do you think, a cam lobe is hitting it?
Yes. Be my guess. It happens on big twins. Don't know about 45s, but the lobe is pointed down. Nope. The lobe's not hitting there. I bet you that's what it's hitting on now. Yep. The intake lobe is hitting this way, and the exhaust lobe is hitting on the other direction it hits on over here. The exhaust lobe is coming down against dead gear on this side, and the other lobe comes around and hits the other side. That'd be my guess. These are already all the way out. You know they clear. Damn it. Well, that sucks. There's always something when you skip the final mock-up. Damn it. All right. Let it go. I don't know if I can drop this pump down or not.
You have to put it back on top dead center.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the whole thing apart, but right now I'm gonna see if this is the problem.
Oh, I see.
And we gotta fix it. All right, I'll be back.